I'm in the middle of a deployment, in the middle of a pandemic, and I just had a baby by myself. Like, what do y'all want from me? Hey, friend. I'm fancy tonight. I got my Dollar Tree plastic wine glass with my water in it. Haven't pumped an ounce of milk. So that's what I'm sipping on tonight. If you haven't watched my previous video with my son, please go watch that video. We talk about the deployment from his little 4-year-old perspective, how he misses dads, how he misses his dads. Ooh, child. Is that tea? Go watch that video. He's cute. In this video, I just want to talk about how I stayed sane. We found out the end of last year that he was going to be deploying, and then they gave us the location of Afghanistan. Prior to that, we heard Puerto Rico, Germany, one of the Koreas, I don't remember which one. So when Afghanistan got put on the table, I was like, what happened to Puerto Rico? They were going all over, so I was just so shocked to hear he was going to Afghanistan. They get active over there. That kicked off the tone of this deployment. So then he's about to leave at the beginning of January. So I'm like 7 months pregnant, 6-7 months pregnant, whatever. So before he leaves, he's like, Joyce, do you want to move? Do you want to move? Do you want to move? Well, come December, I'm like, wait, I want to move. I don't want to be out here by myself. Living in a small town. I want to move back into the city. We were due to move right after Christmas. I tried to get the whole entire house unpacked because I didn't want to be left with so much to do because I was about to have a baby. And then you know your nesting instincts kick in. So just imagine having a whole house still packed up. We really pushed hard to get unpacked as fast as possible. He leaves, but I was working 2 jobs. And taking my whole little check and just blowing it on stupid stuff. But so I had this remote job I would do from home for a utility company, and it was overnight. So just imagine being up with your 4-year-old all day and then turning around and working all night. Like, I started work at 11 and I got off at 7 in the morning, and I would do that on the weekends. And through the day I would do PCA. Personal care assistant. I would take care of this little old lady, Burl. I loved her. So through the week, my son would go to school. Then I would go to work. On a daycare here, and I put my son in daycare. One day I drop off my son. This day he was only the 2nd kid there. And I'm like, where's everybody else? Where's everybody at? And they're like, oh, a lot of kids are out sick. And I'm like, a lot of kids or everybody? That next day, my son started to show symptoms for like a cold. It progressively got worse, and it went from a cold, then he got a fever. So then once he got the fever just would not break for almost 3 days. Once I broke his fever, I even took him in to be tested for the flu, and he tested negative. So I broke his fever, and he ended up coughing and sneezing blood. I think it was, you know what? So I pulled him out of school. After about a week, I get sick. Mind you, my daughter is due like the next month. I got body chills. I got body aches like I've never felt a day in my life. And I've had the flu before. What was really different about this sickness is the chest pain. I felt like I had smoked a pack of cigarettes every time I would cough. So when that happened, I quit my job. So I pulled him out of school first. And then when I got sick, I quit my job. I'm like, no, I cannot afford to get this sick again. I say that to say, me and my son started quarantining ourselves the beginning of February. So we started quarantining in February. Really wasn't seeing anybody but my best friend. And then y'all was there. Y'all know what happened. Then COVID hit, and everybody's mandatory quarantining. The beginning of the year was very lonely. By the time my daughter came and nobody was able to fly in and help me, I was a mess. I was truly a mess by then. It was just crazy. My sister ended up staying here to watch my son because he could no longer come to the hospital with me. By the grace of God, she was trying to help me, but she ended up being here with walking pneumonia. So she ended up leaving. That was my little bit of help. And then my best friend had just started a new job, and her schedule was crazy. Wanted to just kind of paint the picture for you, the stress level that I was going through at that time. You know, they kept doing this depression test on this paper every time I went in, and she kept saying, "Oh, you keep scoring high for depression." I'm like, I'm in the middle of a deployment, in the middle of a pandemic, and I just had a baby by myself. Like, what do y'all want from me? It was just so much going on. I don't know if y'all even care to hear the rest, but I had 2 dogs. I used to have 2 dogs. That was stressful. I had to give them up. I couldn't manage. I cried like a baby. I just couldn't manage. I had a newborn baby. Nobody can come in and help me. And I had my 4-year-old son. I'm not Superwoman. How did I stay sane through it all? Well, like I said, after I dropped my daughter, I wasn't that sane. I was kind of crazy. I was having crying spells. But being my second child, and after I had my son, when I was pregnant with my son, I went through therapy. So I was very familiar with like postpartum and, you know, what the signs were and what to look for. So this go round, I was ready for postpartum. We're gonna talk about postpartum like she's a mother-in-law, okay? I was ready for that heifer. I didn't want her to come in town, aka postpartum. So little things I did is I went shopping. I would just buy cute little clothes. I would go to like, y'all barely had any energy, but I would drag my big old butt to Route 21 or Target or any little shopping store, and I was just try to get like a one-piece outfit, a jumpsuit, a two-piece. If I seen something online, I remember ordering off of Walmart, ordering off of Amazon. I just kept buying like little bright is very important, cute outfits. And that's because I knew once I had my daughter and I began to fight with postpartum that I would have a better chance of picking myself up if I felt good about how I looked. And I think that little bit right there was really what kicked off, you know, me having the upper hand. Because when I felt down and bad and it was time to get dressed and go somewhere, I'm like, oh damn, I got something new. You know how good it feels to pop a tag off, even if it was a $4 jumpsuit, literally like from Rue 21. But to pop a tag off and put on something cute, it makes you feel good. And now it's like, nah, this is so cute. Let me do my hair. You know, now I want to look cute from head to toe. And that really helped me combat a lot of the postpartum after the initial crying spells. And I'm like, oh, she's here. Also, staying outside. And a lot of this, I kind of faked it until I make it. I didn't, necessarily want to get up every day. I would have loved to sleep in with my newborn, but I had a 4-year-old. Instead of staying in the house and trying to make him behave, like a hermit the crab, I would just get up and go outside and walk right down here to the tennis court and let him ride his bike. I had got him some skates and we just kind of stayed outside every single day. And that sun hitting me just kind of helped me keep my mood up instead of sitting like in a dim house and getting sad and down. I think I went outside every single day, y'all. When I first had my daughter in March, it's now October. I went outside every day. And plus, with COVID, being here, outside was the only thing that was open. Like, I know they said outside closed, but no, outside was the only thing that was open. In addition to like dressing well, getting my hair done. That's important. Spend that money to go get your hair done. That money you're going to spend is worth your sanity. Keep yourself looking good. I'm very familiar with depression, so I know it's hard to get up and get out. This is somebody doing it for you. You know what I'm saying? It's the least you can do for yourself. Is to drag yourself to the beautician, drag yourself to the eyebrow place, get threaded up, drag yourself to the nail shop and let somebody else do the work. They're doing the hard part. All you got to do is get there and sit back and get pampered. And don't put a price on your sanity, because I didn't. Because another thing I did was shop. Focus on like decorating. I didn't do this for YouTube. I did this, this was just a project I had around the house. How to put your all into it. And also Get out and meet somebody. If you got a friend and you may have friends without kids, don't feel sorry for them. Okay, don't say, oh, your single friends may not want to spend their Saturdays with you. Oh well, we're going out because I need that for my sanity. Okay, we're going to go eat, and yes, my baby's going to cry, my son is going to talk nonstop, but this is what I need. And you've had plenty of Saturdays alone. Right now, during this time, lean on your friends, single or not, or they got one kid or older kid, it don't matter. Use up their Saturdays and get your butt out and have a good time. I'm gonna stop that there because my video about to cut off. But yes, just take care of yourself. Obviously, spend the money. Lean on your friend, lean on your support system.